This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
All right. It's 7:09. Still breaking it down. But you know what we got to break down too? We got to break down the fact that it's OTAs. It is football season down in Egan. We got some audio coming in from our quarterback, yours and mine. And here's JJ himself on his health, how he's doing right now.
You know, there's a lot of things here and there that we got to always continue to improve on. And, you know, I was just very happy with the way I prepared and, you know, went about that, you know, recovery process above the neck and being able to stay in the playbook and, you know, really just feel, you know, all the ins and outs of this offense.
Yeah, man. It's happening down there, Ben. Is it hectic at OTAs or is it just a party?
The thing is, like, it's funny that you put it like that. In the grand scheme of things, in the course of the season, it kind of is a party.
Is it?
It's serious, but it's lighthearted. It's a lot more joking around. There's no stress in a way. I mean, yes, if you're competing for spots, it's competitive. But as far as the in-season anxiety, it's not there. You know, it is. So it is kind of. I loved it. I think I've said this a bunch on this show that OTAs was my favorite time of year.
Yeah, getting to know your new teammates, probably like picking fun at each other and stuff like that.
Yeah, sure. you have the best of both worlds. You have a chance to gear up every day to go out there and compete, which, you know, you get to work that competitive muscle in your brain. And you get a workout in and you're hanging with your boys and it's lighthearted. So you go back to the locker room, like before and after practice and even during practice, like the amount of kind of trash talking and having fun is more than the season. And, you get back to the locker room, you do a little cold tub, little sauna.
It takes about 4.5 hours.
Yeah, it's like,
There's nothing better.
Sorry, honey, I got to go to work.
Yeah, you've got some cafeteria food, and you just like.
Well, there's no lingering of like decisions being made. You know, like there's none of that. And then you got Friday comes, you got the whole weekend.
Yeah, it's
God. That's the dream.
And you're out of there. I mean, I don't know what their actual time schedule is, but, you know, we would be done with the whole day. Like your whole day is done by 1:30.
It sounds like summer workouts without.
Sounds like you're doing radio.
Yeah.
But getting paid a lot more.
Okay, there's that.
It just sounds like summer workouts without class. It just sounds like the dream.
I know, it was fun. I liked it.
That sounds.
I missed that part of the whole season.
Yeah, it's the start of summer, so like you're looking forward to, like, you're making your 4th of July plans.
Yeah.
God.
I know. Yeah, and keep in mind, like, you know, we're all sort of I guess built foundationally based on like where we start, like in our careers, and like that kind of sets the tone, I should say. I was young and in San Diego, no kids. And you get done with OTAs and you walk out and you're like, you want to go to the beach? Like, what do you like? You got the whole day to do. You got the whole day to do whatever you wanted, and you felt like you've already accomplished something.
And you're not like scared to take your shirt off, you know?
Sure.
You're jacked.
Yeah, there's that.
Jacked.
There is that.
But think of going to the beach and hating your body.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I do. Think of that. Well, it's easy.
Right.
Yeah, think of walking to the supermarket and hating your body.
The thing is being at home and being like, God, I'm gross.
Thinking about getting up and walking by a mirror and hating your body. Thinking about sitting in a chair doing radio, hating your body.
Yeah, think about how you get told by your coworkers every day how fat you are.
You offensive linemen, though.
I haven't done that yet.
You owned your body better than anybody else on the team.
Correct. That's fair.
Whether now deep down inside you didn't love that you fact you were taking shit off.
Yeah.
But you were the fun guys to hang out with on the beach or at a lake or on a boat because you didn't care.
See, yeah, that's the old persona. You know, like the fun guys to hang out with. You're crying on the inside. Everyone thought I was good at the cold tub because I was up to my neck. I was just trying to hide the old tease.
They found the tub big enough. Thomas. But look at you guys now, man. I can't even tell you. Both you and your brother, you walk in the room, you're like, my gosh,
Hugs. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, come on. It ain't fair. But good for you. Good for you, man.
Thank you.
I can't believe how big your brother is, though.
He's a monster.
How did he decide? Why did he decide not to play in the NFL? 6'8" at the time. What do you weigh? 320?
325.
325. That's the biggest dude.
He was a dog. He was a dog.
He's a god.
No, he's a god. No, he tore every ligament in his right ankle.
No, he needs to suck it up.
Everything. And then he got it surgically repaired. Mm-hmm. And then, every time he would tie his shoe senior year, if he tied it too tight, his ankle would actually pop out. It was really bad. He can't, run anymore.
Yeah.
Really?
It was bad.
I love him.
So I probably shouldn't say it.
Well,
Don't
put
say
him
it.
down.
Say it.
Don't say it.
Do you know Toradol?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man. That's the
The
good
shot or the pill?
Both.
Oh, that's
So my brother took the pill before every practice, every workout, everything for 3 years. And then before every game, junior, senior year.
You're not talking about the morning after, are you?
Yeah.
No. So
He took it on the daily?
daily.
Oh,
they gave
dude.
it to him like candy. Candy.
We did the shots before every game, but I did the pill one time playing Nebraska. I don't know for what. I got injured in the second quarter. I came in at halftime.
Yeah.
Took a pill, a Toradol pill. Dude, it tore me up so bad. It was
Awful.
and that was the trip that we bussed to because Lincoln was only 2 hours away.
Yeah.
I blew up that coach bathroom. I mean, so many. It's it's that stomach cramp that feels like someone takes your small intestines and just ties it in balloon knots.
I got to tell you guys, Tommy, I didn't know that there were pill forms to that. I only thought it was a shot.
Yeah, there's both. My a D lineman on our team, we were playing at Iowa. He had a high ankle sprain, and they just shot him up before the game. And at halftime, he was just saying, something's off with my arm.
Because he couldn't feel that.
Couldn't feel anything. After the game, they found out he dislocated his shoulder.
I knew there was a shot.
My God.
You guys,
Didn't you guys all watch Varsity Blues?
Yeah. Sure. Billy Bob.
Don't you remember halftime?
Yeah.
Right when Mox was basically like, don't you put that needle anywhere near Wendell. And
You
Bud
gotta find
Cumber's like,
yourself.
get out of here, Mox. Yeah. Shot that dude up, man.
Yeah.
Right, but it
Shot
actually
it up.
it's crazy because you physically almost can't walk, and then you have the shot, and you go out and warm up. You're like, oh wow,
I don't want
all right
your
today.
life.
But to your point though, sometimes
life.
I didn't like that numbing feeling. Like I couldn't.
It was weird.
I didn't like feeling like I didn't have my legs underneath me at times. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, you're stuck because you're like, well, I need vitamin T because I like my body hurts in other spots.
Vitamin T.
But because by the end of the season, I remember getting off the bus before games and being like, I physically won't be able to play. Like my body hurts so bad, so I need something.
Yeah, you need something.
So I was running on ibuprofen twice a day, all day. But yeah, that's the fun painkiller side of college football. That's always good.
Ibuprofen and little blue pills.
Ibuprofen and penis.
Is that your new single?
That's his autobiography.
Is that a new State Fair shirt?
I don't know why Barb doesn't like your ideas.
No, I got a couple. I got to brew a couple up. I really think the gays at a funeral or whatever. Graveyard.
Gays at a funeral.
Sorry, gays at a graveyard would have been brilliant.
You know what ibuprofen and penis have in common, though, right, Tommy?
What's that?
I believe you tell yourself, I'll take 2 of these and call me in the morning.
Yep.
Anyway, this has been the news brought to you
That
by
was the
St. Paul
news.
Saints. The Saints are 26-24. They'd send David Festa to the mound against the Omaha team tonight. They'll be back at CHS Field soon. We'll tell you all about it. We're talking about Vikings. Obviously, we'll talk about it more in Vikings news, but it's because OTAs are happening now. They held their second day of organized team activities at TCO yesterday. After practice, KOC, J.J. McCarthy, and Andrew Van Ginkel all spoke to reporters. Yesterday, there was an article, Ben, about the Vikings talking about how much the linebackers are going to benefit from these giant defensive linemen we brought in. Man, I'm excited about that.
I know.
Excited.
I know.
Watching them move, and they move
That's
like
a huge bitch.
like gazelles.
Can I say something about that?
I'd love it.
I think Jonathan Allen's going to change his team. I would put money on it that one of our linebackers, well, I'll say Cashman, will be a first-team All-Pro. because of the D-line.
All pro.
First,
I like that.
God, I love that guy.
Yeah.
I just love the way he plays football.
He's going to go off this year because our D-line is so good.
Yeah.
Like, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If JJ's top 10 quarterback or better, statistically, we will win the Super Bowl. 2 of the next 6. Willing to bet on it. 2 Super Bowls in the
Name your
next
price.
6.
Don't do it, Tomer.
Will you give me... What about 1 in the next 3? Would you do that?
Sure.
$250. 500.
See, that's a good bet.
500. 500.
Book it.
Oh, man, that's the 2028 Natty year, too. That could be a big
So
be a
the
big swing
Vikings
for
have to
me.
win the Super Bowl in the next 3 years. $500 bet.
Yeah.
Sure.
Done. Book it.
It's a win-win for me. If they don't win, I win $500. If they do win, it's worth $500 to watch the Vikings win.
1,000%.
Yeah.
So you're bankrolling your 2K about that.
It's easy.
Too.
Tomer, who would
Piece
you
of cake,
rather?
$500.
What would you rather have happen? The Gophers win the national championship or the Vikings win the Super Bowl?
Hawk.
I know it's no chance. It's
there's
not even
no
close.
chance.
If the Gophers win
Yeah.
the national championship,
Don't say it.
Do you just throw yourself into a volcano the
What?
next day?
No.
I go
Like,
tackle
what's the
Eddie
point of
off
going
Mount
on?
Everest, and we just die together.
Wow.
Well,
That's
tangled
insane.
and
You
naked.
should catch up.
You're naked. I don't know why you got to be naked. You don't have
You don't have to be, Tom. It's
mating.
freezing cold. Why are you?
I'm not kidding.
Why do you have to be tangled?
Yeah.
I would just start
Why's it
swimming
gotta
like
be
Lieutenant
Eddie?
Dan. I would just call it a day.
You would swim away like you do to the day.
With no legs.
Just your arms and no legs.
That would be it. What else do I need in
Do a
life?
Tommy,
sea schlong.
You realize that there'll be another season next year?
Nope, not for me.
Okay, never mind. See you later.
So long.
And again, I hate to be the one that always asks the follow-up questions, but you're swimming away from Mount Everest?
Okay, Court, this is a
not
different
good at
analogy.
Yep.
We jumped away from that.
Okay, so now you're in a different place.
Hey,
I'd be
Corey,
able to
the
die.
sea levels rose quite a bit.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, hell froze over if the Gophers won the national title.
Correct.
All right, what would you rather have happened then, Tomers? Timberwolves win the championship or the Vikings win the championship?
Oh, Vikings. It
Okay,
goes
okay, not even
Gophs, Vikes, Wolves, Twins. That's about it.
And Wild.
You don't care for the
Wild.
Wild?
You don't care about?
That's a whole other topic.
Oh, wow. What do you got against the Wild?
I just think Minnesota is so soft on the Wild for being so ass.
Ooh.
Go on.
I agree with you.
It fires me up.
I agree
Because
with
it's
you.
when
Man, I love
hockey
this
state
side of you.
and well, think about it. We don't do anything, and we just blame. Oh, we're in a tough salary spot. Yeah, so is every other team.
Look at
And
you.
they just don't. No one's ever hard on them ever.
I
Ever.
could not agree with
Look
you
at
more.
this.
I could not agree with you more.
Go for football squad down there. Are you hearing? This is a guy you need on your pregame show. This
you.
guy's got an opinion.
No, I don't. That fires me up.
can
I guess no
tell.
one's ever really asked me about that.
I like this side of you. Well, let me ask you this question then, Sweet Pea. Golden Gopher basketball wins national championship or Timberwolves win the championship?
Oh, gosh. That's.
Because the barn would be rocking if we were really good. I'd go Gophs.
Yeah.
Probably anything Gophs, to be honest.
No kidding.
Man, why do you hate the Wild?
Yeah, that struck a chord. Didn't
I
it?
like it though. I like it.
The thing is, like, you're not necessarily wrong either.
No,
like,
you're not wrong.
No, you're 100% right.
They do get a lot of just
No one
kind
talks
of
about it.
silver linings for a lot of
good
things.
season.
We
A lot
don't
of
talk about
participation trophies.
we don't talk about the Wild even close with the same language that we talk about the Wolves. And the Wild have been bounced in the first round of the playoffs like 8 straight
Or
times.
the Gophs. I just get
Well,
sick.
nobody.
What?
Nobody's. Oh,
Whoa,
here we go.
where'd he come from?
What are you talking about?
What do you mean?
I mean,
He died?
Go, what?
Did he
cut
pass?
out? Did your mic cut out?
Did he pass?
There he is.
You had
Sorry.
an aneurysm.
This thing freaks out sometimes. Go ahead.
3 to 6:30 gives them plenty of grief, and the problem is obviously the Timberwolves have a bigger following, so they're going to get more playtime regardless of how good they are or not. I mean, and the Wild definitely, especially the last few years, have definitely gotten plenty of negative flack for they get called the Mild all the time. I don't know where this is coming from. Like,
I've not heard that. I like it though.
I like the mild.
I've actually never heard that
but I like
Well,
that.
you see, you guys aren't listening to the people who are talking.
Maybe not enough
about the
people are
team.
talking.
Yeah, so
we're just talking about people, though.
Yeah,
like
we're not
the general
talking
population.
the general population is sick of the fact that there were 10 of the last 11 years they haven't gone to the second
hideous.
round.
They've been hideous.
We literally made first round exit shirts in part because of the Wild. I mean, I think they've
Who
got
made those?
plenty of flack. I don't know where this is coming from, but
I don't think we care.
yeah.
I think
Well,
that's
Tommy cares.
That kind of fired me up.
Yeah, that did get you fired.
You said their ass.
I did say that.
Yeah, but he's always talking about those.
Yeah. Dudes.
Go for baseball or the Twins?
Ooh.
What?
Twins.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see how far down this hole we would go.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about it, I think.
Go for baseball or the Wild?
Boom. Go for baseball. All day.
Go for baseball wins a natty,
Yep.
or you get one and only one opportunity to be naked and tangled on Mount Everest with Schmoll.
I don't know why it has to be his brother.
I agree. I'm not. I'm just asking.
Hey, Tommy, I just remind you, you're married to a lady.
Yeah, Tommy.
Your wieners tying each other together.
Tommy, on behalf of your entire family, please answer faster.
Sure. No, go for baseball.
What?
Don't ask for a clarification. Just say any
Answer with a
sport is
question.
good enough.
The thing is, you're only tangled with your brother because it's cold. It's so cold out.
Body heat?
Birthday.
Yeah, it's
Seth's
Mount
birthday.
Everest.
Put
That's
some
right.
clothes on. Why do your penises become Rapunzel?
There's 8 billion other people.
Why don't you know what Rapunzel is?
Why does it have to be
Tom, why are you sexually attracted to your brother?
And that'll do it for Seth's birthday. Fan 5 is next. This is the Power 2 Morning Show on the Fan.
Search for the sunlight.
The Fan.
There he is. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, there he is. There he is. That's Tommy Olsen. There he is. Look at him. Yes. Authorities are investigating a possible shark attack off the coast of North Carolina. Sunset Beach Fire Department says it received an emergency call late Wednesday morning about a swimmer who was bitten on the leg. The fire chief says the injured swimmer was treated by rescue personnel and taken to a local hospital, and the full extent of the injury is unknown. No further shark sightings have been reported in North Carolina since then, but local
I bet they're
officials
out there, though.
are urging beachgoers to stay vigilant. Tommy's been attacked by
I was
sharks.
just going to say, it's too bad that Tommy left because he could tell a shark attack story
I know.
again.
Yeah.
I do love reports like there's no other sightings of sharks. It's the ocean.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
It's the
there.
Atlantic Ocean. They're in there.
Yep.
So don't go swimming in there, you dummies.
Yeah.
Unless you want a missing leg or something.
Yeah.
Or just to be dead. In that case, go swimming.
Yeah.
You know, I know that we're probably getting in the weeds on this thing, but who doesn't like, I know, Corey, you don't like this, but if you're at the ocean, you're on the beach, like, why not get in the water, right? It's nice. You're there, it gets hot, whatever. Are these shark attacks happening in depth of water that you can touch?
Most shark attacks occur in less than 6 feet of water.
That is absolutely true, and a lot of them.
Really?
A lot of them.
In less than 6
Less
feet?
than 6 feet of
A
water.
lot of them happen in waist deep water.
Yep.
Believe it or not. Oh, that is true. It is absolutely true.
That's greasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I've always just kind of kept in mind of like, I'm just going to go to where I can, the point where like it's nipple high.
Yeah.
And I can still touch. I feel safe there.
That's plenty of room for them to swim.
Well, that's too bad. I need to change my thought process.
Yeah, just put your feet in and then hope that cools you off and go back.
I know we did a lot of sports in the last segment of Supposed to New, so I'm going to give you a couple of other things real quick if you don't mind. For those of you over there who've done psychedelic mushrooms, tell me if this seems feasible to you. A hiker is back from the dead, alive and well after a frantic emergency call. It happened over the holiday weekend in the Adirondacks when 2 New York hikers called and said they were lost and their friend was dead.
Oh, my.
The first ranger to show up quickly found out that the 2 were actually tripping on psychedelic mushrooms, and their friend had also called the rangers. He was found alive and uninjured. They were just all 3 too high on mushrooms. Does that sound feasible to all of y'all?
Yeah. A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit. Sometimes, sometimes more so on acid, I would say, but mushrooms depends on how much you ingest. Yeah.
You can convince yourself pretty easily of the most outrageous things.
See, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
I did
that's
like how
terrifying.
when Chris asked if this was feasible when it comes to psychedelic mushrooms, Zach centered his microphone, turned on his mic, and like positioned himself to be ready to answer any and all questions.
Yeah, he got in the starting blocks.
You were definitely in the starting blocks.
I've only done it twice.
There's a part of me, Zacho, that says, I'm really missing out on a part of my life by never having done it. But then I read stories like this and I'm like, I don't like not being in any control at all.
No, I think you're taking the extreme cases.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mushrooms, you can be a lot more in control than like something like acid. Mushrooms, you can kind of customize your high. Yeah. You can make it as like just a small, light, giggly thing, or you can make it like a full-blown Alice in Wonderland situation if you want to.
I think the issue is, and Max, you can probably speak better about this than I can. I think it's because there's so many different types of different, strains of mushrooms. You really should do it with somebody that knows what they're doing first, because, taking like a cap and a stem of one variety might be plenty, but a cap and a stem on another variety might not do anything. So it's like, how much do you take and what sort of trip do you want to have? And I would definitely do it indoors with some friends.
Yes. Yeah.
Don't go out and about.
That's the key part, is you got to have a stable environment. You got to have people around you that you trust and that you like, and you got to be in an environment that you're familiar with, at least the first time. After that, you can go
not hiking with your buddies.
Yeah, I know. Like Hawk, read that story again. Don't let that deter you, because again, that is if you're going to take that much shrooms, to the point where you're convincing yourself that your friends are dead. Maybe don't do that. All three of you don't go out there and do it, and certainly don't go out in the woods, the scraggly woods. And just do it at your house
the first time. After that, go into the woods. Then that's when you feel the true magic of mushrooms, is when you're outside.
Right.
When I read stories, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, you always need the person who says and is there to be like, it's just the drug. Relax.
Can I tell you guys something? That's something I'm never that guy for you guys. How boring would it be to have to watch you guys have a good time? I ain't gonna do that.
No, but you need somebody who's done it a bunch, right?
But if there's a bunch of people doing something, I don't want to sit around watching them have fun. I'm busy.
Yeah, but you don't have to be. You don't have to be the sober one.
Yeah, no,
you're just the one that understands what the feeling is.
Who's done it before?
For sure. Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen. You guys are gonna be like, Hockey was supposed to be watching us, but he was off watching porn.
Yeah,
and I thought I was dead.
We wouldn't put you in charge.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you.
The first few times.
Appreciate you.
I think what you're doing is you're angling for somebody to set something up for you.
That's right.
And
what about Marnie's pool party?
I'm in.
We can do it at my cabin.
Yeah.
Let's stay away from water.
Right.
Let's do it.
Probably a good idea.
We'll go up north.
I'm going to wake up in the bottom of her toilet.
God, it's like a true hockey.
How dare you?
It's your dad's dream. He's so proud of you.
No,
right?
not my dad. If you
That's my boy.
No, if you say, what do you call him? What
Dwight?
If you say Dwight Hockey, it's cool. Don't directly say my dad. My dad does not like getting pooped on.
Sauce, remember the last time Dwight Hockey was caught in a, what was it called? Compost toilet?
Yeah, compost toilet. That was it.
Remember? And he was like, I'm on mushrooms. Yeah. I've been doing this all.
It's fine. It's just a drug.
Where's my spotter?
What happened to Hawk?
You seem pretty lucid, dude. No, I'm on mushrooms. All of them. The stems and the caps and the whatnot.
My dad calls me Hawk.
I'm super high. Where'd my son go? He was supposed to be watching me. He's watching Fake Taxi again. Damn you.
Or as he calls it, softcore.
Yeah, right.
Everything you just said is not nearly as weird as what Tommy just said in the last
No.
segment.
That is very true.
He yelled it. He didn't just say it, he yelled it.
Love you, Tommy.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so we will do sports when we get back, I promise.
Sauce will do sports, and we'll get the Vikings news.
As well. We'll get all that done.
All right, more of the Power Trip Morning Show after this on the Fan.
Why does it feel like Carmelo Anthony should be way older than 41 years old? Isn't he the same draft as LeBron?
Yeah, he only played 1 year at Syracuse, so he was 19 then in 2003. Yeah, that makes sense. That math works out.
I don't know. It just seems like a different generation. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess it is technically. Here we are. Let's get right, because Saucy's all fired up. He wants to do sports.
It's time for Fan 5 on the Power Trip, presented by All Around, your TimberTech deck building contractor.
Thank you, All Around. Give it to me, Saucy.
The Minnesota Timberwolves in a do-or-die game scored 9 points in the first quarter. That guy fell. Just 2 points off the record, which is 7, set by the Celtics in 2016 for the lowest points scored in a quarter.
9 points.
9 points. The Wolves got crushed 124-94 in Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals. They lost in 5 last year of the Western Conference Finals. Julius Randle gave no effort, but still somehow scored 24 points. Ant was a no-show again with 19. He scored 16 in Game 4, so he has combined in 2 games to score 1 point more than Shea scored last night. The season is over. I expect the Wolves to make a massive trade this offseason. Great season, horrible ending. And also with you.
Here comes the main man, the myth, the legend, the basketball star himself, Parker Fox, to comment on last night's game.
Yes, sir. Parker, what's up, man?
What's up, buddy?
Good morning, everybody.
You got it all figured out?
Got it all figured out? Well, maybe. I don't know. There's a lot to think about with this Wolves team moving forward, but...
how about the first half effort of Julius Randle? Your thoughts?
Rosie.
Well, I was excited because he hit that 3 to start out, and I was like, okay, we got some offensive rebounds. We were on the glass. Julius hit a 3. Like, he's already got 3 points. He had 5 points last game. Like, we got a trend upwards, and it just kind of disappeared. It looked like the Wolves didn't want to get into any sets. They didn't want to communicate with each other. They didn't want to run any offense. It was like, let's flip the ball to each other a little bit, and then let Anthony Edwards ISO, and then hopefully that works out. And clearly it didn't work out. There was no flow, no continuity. It was almost embarrassing for a game where it's do or die. You have to figure out a way to bring this thing back to Minnesota, and there was nothing. It was honestly quite disappointing for a Wolves fan like me.
How about 3 of your starters, Jaden McDaniels, Rudy Gobert, and Mike Conley, combined for 7 points? Those 3, 7 points. 3 of 17 shooting.
Oh, it was that bad.
No, again, 2 of 13 for Jaden, but 1 of 1 for Rudy, 0 of 3 for Mike Conley. Conley had 0 points. Rudy had 2. Jaden had 5.
Yeah, well, Jaden just kept chucking them up, and it's like Jaden's a guy where when things are going well for the Wolves, he's providing a little offensive spark. He doesn't need to be this guy that's shooting 13 shots in a quarter. And he was wide open. And sometimes you got to look at yourself as a basketball player and kind of realize, hey, maybe there's a reason I'm wide open. Maybe there's a reason why this team isn't coming out to guard me because I'm not making shots and I'm not proving that I can make shots. And then when I'm dribbling in the lane, I'm not facilitating. I'm not making good plays. I don't know. It was kind of an like I said, it was almost an embarrassing effort to start the game. And Jaden's a guy where you need him in the game defensively because he has to guard their best player. And when he's not locked in and when you're not locked in as a team, it can get ugly really quick. And that's exactly what happened.
And then we previously saw the best game out of Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Dante DiVincenzo. And then last night, Nickeil went 0 for 8, including 0 for 4 from 3. Dante had 6 points. Nickeil had 0.
But I think it's the same thing where when things start to go bad, they really start to go bad. And I think it maybe even in football too, but I've seen it in basketball, some of our games where it's like, it's going bad and there's got to be somebody or someone that steps up and was like, hey, let's cut the crap. Like we're going to figure this thing out. And there was none of that. There was no leadership from any of the coaching staff, from any of the players, from Anthony Edwards, Julius, Mike. Like nobody wanted to step up and say, hey, we still have time to try to fix this thing. And now Julius came out of the second half and played well in that third quarter and did some things that were encouraging. But when you dig yourself in that deep of a hole, it's nearly impossible to climb out, especially when you're playing a team like OKC who's got that continuity, got that togetherness. And we just saw them make way more effort plays than the Timberwolves made.
I feel like this is an obvious question both for you and Max, but
Max passed.
Did Max die?
Oh, no.
Oh my God!
I'm speaking to you guys from the grave.
Reincarnated.
Yeah, there he is.
Hey, you guys. Heaven's not too bad.
I got the impression, the feeling that after Game 4, they knew it was over. I mean, regardless, even if the game was back at Target Center, they didn't have to go on a couple days and just go down back to OKC and play on their home court. It's like we gave them everything that we could. Now, obviously, we had a bunch of turnovers, but that's just been kind of the case, and they have a really good defense and all this other stuff. But like when we gave everything that we could, we would tie the game in Game 4, and then OKC would just press on the gas a little bit more and pull away. It's like they knew. It's like deep down inside, they knew it was over. It was like a foregone conclusion. Like, yeah, we got to play this 5th game, but it's over. We're not going to beat these guys 3 games out of 3.
It's such a morale booster to lose a game at home like that, where it's like, hey, you got a chance to possibly even the series, go back to Oklahoma City, have some energy, have some like, hey, we beat these guys, we played well. Some of our bench guys played well. Me and Max talk about that all the time. Is you need guys to come off the bench and play well and produce. Dante and Nod did that in game 4, and then it's like, it flips so quick. Oh, now we're down 3-1. We're playing a team that historically is super good in their home arena. Now you look at the stats and the numbers. No one really ever comes back from 3-1s. It's like 98% chance that the team that's leading 3-1 is going to win the series. So then you start thinking about all these things that are going wrong. And it almost seemed, I think you're right, Ben. Like this team was like, there's no way we can win 3 games in a row against this Oklahoma City team. Let's just have it be done in Oklahoma City. It was, you really hope that there's some sort of fight and there's some sort of like, hey, we're doing this for someone or something. And there seemed to be absolutely no of that. And I think Guardsy tweeted like the energy was bad. I thought that was bad, but I thought also just like there was no continuity. There was no like, hey, let's resolve. That's the word I'm really looking for.
That's why
there was none of that.
Feels like they just gave up.
Really does. Well, it really does.
There was like fake tough. Like
Yes.
they played hard for like 4 minutes. They got punched in the mouth, and they're like, "All right, and you know what? I actually don't want to be in a fight."
And it doesn't work that way at basketball games. It's a 48-minute game. It takes time. And we've seen, Max, so many times about like the runs that happen in NBA games. Like the 3-point shot, that's kind of what the meta of basketball right now. If you're able to hit some threes, you could come back in any sort of game. And there was so much time to still do that, but there was nothing kind of geared towards that plan to figure that out. And that one really hurts.
And we've seen the Wolves throughout the regular season. There's times where they just got shell shocked.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw it most prominently in that Milwaukee game where they made that huge comeback in the 4th quarter, where the Wolves just kind of sat back in awe, like, wow, this Milwaukee team is really doing it to us. And we thought we had gotten rid of those demons in round 1 and round 2, because I thought they did show some grit, and they did show some resilience bouncing back from the losses that they had, considering how poorly they shot in those losses that they had in round 1 and round 2. But then they played a team against an OKC team that they're just as talented as, but just does the details and little things better. The things like continuity, the things like having that recognition of like, okay, we have to keep things flowing. The OKC is better at recognizing the moment emotionally and just in the game, and the Wolves weren't able to necessarily really do that. And we've talked about it on the show plenty of times. The worst version of the Wolves is when they degrade into hero ball and try to take things into their own hands, and that's exactly what we saw pretty much right from the jump yesterday, and it was super disappointing.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's tough.
It's over.
Yeah, it's over. Literally. It sucks.
It's time for Vikings news on the Power
Hey, there you
Trip,
go.
presented by
And just like that. You got to have a short memory like a goldfish. Right, Ted Lasso? Here we go. JJ's our quarterback, and he's ready to take some risks in the NFL, Ben.
Most of the risk is just, anticipatory throws, trying to fit it in a tight spot and, trying little things with my footwork and my eyes and little things like that. But, it's just, not being afraid to fail out here, go out there and, try new things and, afterwards chalk it up and, go from there.
I can't wait to just keep hearing him talk more and more. I mean, to throw out anticipatory, that's so smoothly. I mean, boy, this guy's got it.
Here we go.
This guy's got it, man.
A+ vocab.
A+ vocab and pronunciation on the fly like that. Yeah, I think he's right. I mean, the thing is, like, he has so much to kind of get caught up on with this first team offense, and I know that everybody around there, already sees him as the leader, and he's kind of injected himself into that organization. So I'm not worried from that standpoint, but he's right from every player. I mean, not just quarterback. And the thing is, I bet you if you talk to Harrison Smith, he'd say, I'm using this time to work on the little things. I'm using this time to work on, maybe some things that maybe a bad habit that he got into during the season, or maybe something that he's just trying to tweak his game, or, the fact that, okay, I'm a little bit older now and I got to approach the game a little bit differently. I got to work on my angles of departure a little bit more because I don't have the straight line speed anymore. So like, this is the time of year where you start trying new things. And, every sport goes through it. Baseball players talk about it in spring training all the time. Like, I changed my stance a little bit, changed my approach. I'm holding my hands a little different. And you hope that it all works out. And I think the tough thing is with our sport is you take such a gap you take such a break from the end of OTAs and minicamp into training camp. And so it's like you can work on all these things, but unless you work on it in those 5 or 6 weeks leading up to training camp, I mean, sometimes things will work and all of a sudden it's just not working because you kind of you have this lapse in time.
Speaking of learning to play with your teammates, here's JJ talking about playing with JJ.
Last year, I don't know the specific amount of reps, but I would say, it's probably not as much as it is now. And, it's every receiver that I'm with, it's that timing, those reps, all of that has to, be built up over time. So, the more reps, the better. And, yeah, I just feel like, we're not where we want to be, but we're going to be there when we need to.
I think that relationship probably doesn't get talked about enough as just quarterback-receiver relationship. I know that we say it, but to really fully understand the trust that they have to have in real-time situations is so paramount. I mean, it's so big because you may see a leverage on the outside where you feel like the play JJ has to cut across his face of this defender and get to that spot, but JJ might see something differently. He might be setting up that route a little differently than maybe did in practice based on what he's seen in the game. And you have to understand that he's going to get there and he's going to win. And when we've seen that, with a lot of interceptions, even with a guy that's dialed in and detail oriented as Kirk Cousins, he would throw interceptions or two because the receivers weren't where they're supposed to be. And when you want to anticipate throws, you got to throw to a spot sometimes you expect your guy to win and be there. And this is the time to get those reps in. And it's not, the problem is it's not full speed. You can do about 85% of it, but you can't replicate a quarterback getting rushed with pads on, and you can't replicate the cornerbacks and linebackers with pads on, really playing their full speed. So, fine tune those details and building that trust is huge right now.
Just out of curiosity, I want to ask you something, Sauce. JJ McCarthy, Ant, and Kirill.
Yeah.
You have to get rid of one of them today from Minnesota sports. Which one do you get rid of and why?
You have to do it with your own bare hands.
Yeah, you got to kill them.
It's like, wow, this is gross,
one of them gets cut or traded today.
That's an easy
One
answer.
of them has to
I think
go.
that's an easy answer.
That's an easy answer.
I mean, it's Kirill because Zach would be devastated if we got rid of JJ McCarthy.
What's the actual answer? What's your actual answer, though?
I mean, it's
Parker and Ben think it's easy.
It's probably JJ.
Ben, Parker?
It's JJ, in my opinion. He hasn't done it yet. Ant's
Ben's gonna say Ant. Ben's gonna say Ant.
Ant's slowly becoming the face of the NBA. It's not Ant. There's no way it's Ant.
Ant's one of the best athletes this town has ever had.
Kirill is your cornerstone when it comes to the Minnesota Wild. JJ hasn't played an NFL snap yet. He hasn't proven anything, and the Vikings have completely transformed their roster to make everything work. The only question on the Vikings roster is the quarterback position, in my opinion. And that puts a lot of added pressure on a guy like JJ. I think Ant and Kirill have done it. I've always been a guy that says, hey, if you've done it, you've proven yourself. That speaks more than kind of super, I don't know. That's my opinion.
Ben, you're going to say Ant?
You have Ant, Ben?
No. I was going to say Kirill.
Oh, you're going to say Kirill.
Yeah,
okay.
I thought the easy answer was Kirill.
Okay.
I think it's JJ.
Look, I'm down on Ant from a leadership standpoint,
Yes.
from the intangible standpoint. No question he's a freak of all physical freaks. I want to see more maturation. I want to see more inherent leadership. I want to see more, not killer dog on the court. I want to see killer dog in the locker room, in the organization, all that stuff. I want to see that. I think that he can do it. He hasn't proven it yet, but point is, he's still very young. I'm still bullish on Ant. Kirill seems like maybe this is just like I'm not paying that close attention. He's always seems hurt. And it's like he comes back and he's a little bit of a spark, but it's like
He's so good, though.
we're finding ways to win without him a lot of times. And it's like, okay, well then how valuable really is he to take over a game and be a true first liner cornerstone player? I don't know. That's probably for Zach to answer. But I thought the answer was kind of easy.
I just feel like you can't call on two guys that have kind of been the face of your franchise over the last couple of years versus a guy that hasn't played an NFL snap yet. He hasn't thrown an NFL football. He hasn't.
But there's excitement about that too.
Yeah.
It's like, how can you get rid if the hypotheticals
you're right.
to get rid of one guy? It's like, well, man, I'm way more excited for I'm way more excited to see what JJ can do this season than I am with Kirill or Ant next season.
Well, and according to Tommy, nobody watches The Wild.
The Mild.
The Mild.
As we've learned, they're the Mild.
Well said. The Mild.
Ben, how quickly during even OTAs, and I know this is technically his second season, even though, again, he didn't play in the regular season, how quickly did teammates know if JJ is the real deal? Like, do you guys know at this point?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, we knew Adrian was going to be special. We knew Percy. When Percy Harvin came in, it was like, I don't know, let's just give him the benefit of the doubt. It was through all of OTAs and minicamp, and trust me, it was before that. I mean, it was maybe a week or two into OTAs minicamp. We're like, okay, this guy's different. Like, all right, this guy's gonna be really good. Now, again, we couch all that because we tell ourselves, well, a lot of guys look great in their underwear running around in the field. Like guys change. Psychologically so much when you put the pads on during training camp, but you could tell that both Adrian was built different as both internally and externally, and so was Percy Harvin. So I think that in that same vein, I think they know that they have a guy in JJ McCarthy.
So if everybody around JJ is saying this kid's got all the intangibles, right? He's got the it factor, he's got the zip, he's got everything. Then is it really just down to JJ that if it doesn't work, it's really just him because everybody else says he's got it?
It's a lot of added pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would think that everybody's going to have a little bit of grace because, we're all expecting big things out of him. But like you just said, he's a second-year guy that's a first-time starter. It could not look very good the whole 17 games. You could have flashes of brilliance and flashes of what we're expecting, but you look at every Hall of Fame quarterback, and rarely do they hit the ground running and they play like a Hall of Famer in year one.
It's true.
Or even year two. It's just a different beast.
How do you kind of find that grace if you're a Vikings fan, if you're a Vikings player that might be there for a year, when it's clear that the Vikings have beefed up the O-line, beefed up the D-line. They've gone and got cornerbacks. They have a 1-2 punch at running back. They have arguably one of the best receiving corps in the NFL. So your only question mark is your quarterback. Where do you kind of find grace when things don't go right?
I think that having a bigger picture understanding of we're not building this thing for 1 year and just a sliver of the door being open. If you're in that mindset as a vet, if you're like Ryan Kelly, unfortunately, it's like, look, it may not. You're part of the building process, and you're basically showcasing to the fan base like what this organization's about building the roster, not just about one player. Hopefully, he can be a part of a championship as an older vet, but this is more about, all right, we have this young talented guy that we think is going to be around for a decade. Let's build this thing the right way so the window is more of like 5 to 7 years versus just 1 or 2.
Dang, you're not getting your $500 story.
That'll be worth it. Fan 5 next, headlines later. Ben Leber is here, Parker Fox is here. This is the Power Trip Morning Show on the Fan.